It's using me as part of your team. Trust me, parents, I have your back. I'm a parent.
Yeah.
I want the same thing for my kids, right? So leverage those visits. It's huge. It's crucial. And more now than ever.
Welcome to The Lisa Show, where we take a good look at life. As the mom of 5, I've had my fair share of pediatrician visits. I've been in their office for everything from strep throat to broken bones to school shots to ADHD. Luckily, my kids have never gotten a gummy bear stuck up their nose, that was a friend's kid, or had an allergic reaction to sidewalk chalk, another friend's kid, or eaten an entire bottle of Fruity Tums, another friend's kid. But our pediatrician was always in the fabric of my kids' lives and my life as a mom. Yes, pediatricians are supposed to work with children, but I would say that they are just as invaluable in helping parents as they are in helping kids. Having a relationship with a pediatrician that you can trust is so important. So that's why I decided to bring one of the best to you today. I have Dr. Weston Spencer in the studio. He's been a pediatrician for over 19 years, and not that Google ratings determine worth, but Dr. Spencer has 5 stars across the board. Wes is not only a fabulous doctor, but a dear family friend and one of the most delightful people you'll ever meet. His patients love him, and you will too. He's going to give us 10 prescriptions for things we can do right now to help our infants, kids, and teens inside and outside of the doctor's office. He's going to talk about fevers, picky eating, mental health, and so much more. And the best part, today's visit is free of charge. You don't even have to use your HSA account. I mean, come on. So here's Dr. Spencer, and he's going to start with advice for making the most of your pediatrician appointments. Prescription number 1 is about what to do when your child isn't sick.
So I love parents that take advantage of well-child checkups. It's so easy to forget when your kid gets a little older, like after age 5 and you're kind of done with shots until junior high, those ages from 6 to 12, there's a preventative care visit that your insurance covers without a copay every year to be seen. And it's astounding what we're able to do in those visits. Not just medically, sometimes we'll pick up a heart murmur or some other random thing that you didn't know about. We're doing a vision screening, we're checking their blood pressure, their growth, but more importantly, we're checking their development, right? How are they developing socially? How's their mental health? How's their mood? Starting at around age 11, we do mental health screeners on every patient that comes in. And it just gives a starting point to say, hey, yeah, this is what we're going to talk about at these visits. How are you doing? How are your friendships? How's your sleep? So I like parents who are forward-looking. A lot of people will come in like at their, 1 year, 18-month well-child check, and they'll say, what can we expect in the next 6 months? What are we looking for as far as development? Or what are some things that, a lot of parents will ask, what do other parents ask? What should I be asking?
Yeah.
And you'll give them some tidbits of things like that. So I love when parents take advantage of all of the well-child checkups. So that's number 1.
So prescription number 1, go to your well-child checkups. They are covered by insurance, and they are for so much more than just medical concerns. And something you can do to make the most of those checkups is write down your questions in between visits. That's prescription number 2.
Things will come up. You'll have questions. Write them down. Make a little note in your phone where it's questions for the doctor, right? And write them down, especially when kids are young. Like the newborns, that first year of life, there's so many questions in between the visits that come like every 2 months.
They're so frequent.
There's frequent visits, but there's questions. Write them down, come prepared to your visit. Ask all your questions. Don't be afraid to ask any question. We're never going to make fun of you. To your face. No, we're never going to make fun of you. 90% of what I do as a pediatrician is education and reassurance. That's what I'm doing. And so use that as a resource. And if something isn't making sense to you, or you're like, I'm just not sure about that vaccine, we'll give you some homework and go read about it. Then let's reconvene next time. Let's have this be an ongoing dialogue. It's not a one and done. If you like Googling medical things, bring those too. We're happy to point you to good, helpful resources and happy to dispel myths. I think it's the relationship that you create with your doctor, with your pediatrician especially, is so valuable. It's a relationship of trust.
Prescription number 2, don't be afraid to ask questions. Do you remember that book, What to Expect When You're Expecting? As I parented more every year and every book, I just thought there's just too many books. You can't write down everything. It's so specific to your kids. Parenthood doesn't come with an answer sheet, so let your pediatrician help fill in some of the blanks. And not only can a pediatrician answer your questions, but they can also be your wing woman or wingman. And if you grew up with Top Gun like I did and mourned Iceman Val Kilmer's recent passing, then you know how important having a wingman or wingwoman is. It's vital. That's prescription number 3. Use your pediatrician as reinforcement.
The other thing that's really fun, when I know parents well and I know the kids well, I can just see they're trying to telepathy to me, please tell them to take their phone out of the room, or please tell them to eat their vegetables, or whatever it is that they want me to reinforce, their good parenting habits. And so
I didn't say it, the doctor did.
Exactly. So when I see a parent, just kind of on the edge of their seat, he's going to help me out here, those are fun conversations to reinforce. So I usually ask a kid, what are the rules in your house about the phone? And then sometimes the kid totally gets it wrong. Oh, we don't have any rules. And the parent's like, oh.
Are you kidding me?
No,
in front of the doctor.
Yes. I go, I bet you do. I bet there's some rules or guidelines about, can you have your phone in your room? Where do you charge it at night? And all this kind of stuff. And then it gives me an opportunity to sort of highlight some studies and scientific evidence that there's a lot of about social media and just even phone, screen time, that kind of stuff. So those conversations are great. If you're a parent, you're looking for someone to reinforce what you think is right, or wonder what's the Surgeon General saying about this, because he does say stuff about this, then that's at the Well Child Checks. And you get that little bits at a time, incremental at every age. It's helpful.
Oh, I love that. That's something very doable for parents. And it's saying, I'm on your team,
Yeah, and outsource it a little bit. Hey, I'm on your team, and this is just another voice in your child's head who maybe is respected. Some parents also are afraid to bring their child to a visit when we're going to talk about something like mental health or bedwetting. Yeah. They're just going to be so embarrassed by this. It's going to really be hard on them. We know that. We want to make the kid feel like $1 million. We want to normalize the issue if it's like bedwetting and say, look, this is okay. It's fine. People wet the bed through high school. We're going to work on this together. And you need to know I'm on your side. You need to know that it's okay that you're doing this. It's not your fault, nothing you did or didn't do. It's just the way your body works. And I'll explain why your body does what it does. And we'll just work on a solution. Same with anxiety or ADHD. And so you could sort of engage the child in the conversation, and they're much more invested in the solution too. And it just eases their fears. So we try and reduce that stigma.
I've had that experience where I'm in the doctor's office and the doctor will ask them something that maybe they weren't anticipating, and they look to me like, is it okay for me to answer? They're asking me about my friends. I didn't know we were going to go there. And I am just like, yep, this is the doctor's office. This is confidential,
Yes, that's really great, Lisa, because I do see that a lot when the kid's in the room with the parent and they'll look at the parent and the parents will be like, no, they're asking you.
Yeah, they're asking you. You
answer
need
the
to
question.
answer that.
The other thing that's helpful is, you get a kind of a surly 15-year-old boy who's doesn't want to give any information. When we get to those questions in the visit, or even preemptively, as a parent, you can say, hey, is this where I step out?
Okay, I was going to ask you about that because I know that may be controversial and that a lot of parents would be hesitant to do that, to not be there and present. And I have actually had that experience where I had just as you described, kid. And I knew that they were struggling. And sometimes they don't want to say it in front of their mom. But I had an established relationship with the pediatrician, so I trust that pediatrician totally. They'd seen all my kids. They knew what was going on at home, and they knew all this stuff. And I said, I'm just going to step out for a while so you can answer this honestly and not worry about my reaction or my feelings or whatever, because this is important.
Brilliant mom move.
And thank you. But done in a moment of desperation to get the help that they needed.
Yeah. So much of what you just said is brilliant. I want to highlight a few things for the listeners that you just said. One is that you had a relationship with that pediatrician, right? And you convey to your child, either verbally or non-verbally, say, we trust this person. Mm-hmm. We trust Dr. Spencer. You can tell him anything. right? And he will keep it confidential. He's not going to tell me unless he needs to.
Yeah.
So that's number one. And number two, you can also tell the doctor before you come in, can I bend your ear for a tick before you go in? That's okay too. I'll get little messages scribbled on a paper towel.
Really?
Johnny's really struggling with this and that. If you could kind of bring it up in a subtle, your cool way or whatever,
Right.
I would really appreciate it. That's a great move by parents. We don't mind that at all. If there's something that they've been hiding that's eating them up, the first thing I'll say is, can I help you go there with your parent? Can I help you in this conversation? I can do all the talking if you want. Wow. I can help you get there. And if they ever have a crisis or they're self-harming and they don't want to tell their parents, it's an opportunity. They may not take it. They may not divulge or want to share that with me, but at least you're giving them the opportunity in a safe place where I've said, this is the thing. And frankly, they do.
They do.
They do.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful because that's what you want as a parent.
And we do our best to involve the parents. Trust me, parents, I have your back. I'm a parent. Yeah. I want the same thing for my kids, right? Yeah. We want them to make good choices. We want them to have good friends. So again, leverage those visits. It's huge. It's crucial. And more now than ever.
Prescription number 3, make your pediatrician your wingman or wingwoman. Let them validate and reinforce what you've been trying to do at home. And if there is a sensitive issue or stigma that you or your child is worried about, let your pediatrician help talk your kid through it. They can normalize what's going on. And don't limit your pediatrician's help to physical problems. They can also be an invaluable resource when it comes to emotional or mental health concerns. It takes a village, folks, so make your pediatrician part of that village. Prescription number 4 is all about the dreaded shot appointments. Another aspect of coming into the office that some people are hesitant at bringing their kids to is because those kids don't want to get shots. I know my kids would always be like, what kind of visit is this?
Yeah.
Is this just a checkup? How many shots? Just tell it to me straight. Are there things that we can do together as a team to ease that anxiety for the kids and for the parents?
All the kids are different, and I usually try and follow the parents' lead. Some parents recognize that less information is better for their kid because you tell them you got a doctor's appointment in 2 weeks. Oh. They are in an anxious fit for 2 weeks thinking they might even get a shot, and it's just horrible. So some parents are like, I don't tell them till I pick them up from school. Because
it's like the reverse surprise.
It's only an hour of the anxiety rather than 2 weeks of the anxiety building up. Yep. Like, hey, we're coming in, we're going to do these shots, and then you're going to get a prize, and then you can go home. And they're like, cool, that was great. Only 30 seconds of freak out. Because the anticipation is always worse than the actual injection. They just don't hurt as bad as the
Boy, isn't that a metaphor for life?
Yeah. So I follow their lead. And some are like, we need to talk about it. We need to give them time. They do have anxiety, so they need all the information. We have to be upfront. We have to tell you how long the needle is and how long it's going to be in and all these kind of things. We try and help out that way. And in general, kids respond to stressful situations about as well as their caregivers do. So if the caregiver or the parent is calm, says, we're going to do this, I know it hurts, but it's what we do. Everyone gets shots, you'll be fine. Hold my hand, I'll give you a big hug. I'll do the anaconda squeeze so you don't kick the person. And we'll do the shots and we'll get through it together.
Prescription number 4, stay calm regarding shot appointments. As parents, we can move the dial on our kids' anxiety when it comes to those needles. They're never going to like getting shots, but we can make those appointments less traumatic by thinking about how our kids process anxiety. Maybe telling them just before going into the appointment is the right move, or maybe giving them time to think about the injections and wrapping their heads around it is the right approach. For me, one of my kids was so afraid, he literally had to say to the nurse, just pretend and tell me out loud that if I don't get this shot, that I will die. That this is the antidote for some poison I just took. And she looked at him like, is he kidding? And I said, he's actually not kidding. He needs this motivation. Will you please give it to him? And she said, okay, you need this shot or you'll die. And he was like, thanks. Okay, give it to me right now. Gave him the shot. And then we moved on. Listen, not all of you are going to need to engage in an improv exercise that may be specific to my situation. But regardless, Thinking about the right approach for your kid is the takeaway. The most important thing we remember is that we need to stay calm, regardless of how we deliver the bad news or the improv exercise, so that our kid can feed off our energy. Now, speaking of energy, Dr. Weston's 5th prescription is to leave energetic and disruptive tag-alongs at home or in the waiting room with another adult.
I'm pretty easygoing, but, if you're bringing a lot of kids to the appointment and they're ruining the office and running amok, that's actually pretty stressful for our staff. Also, if you are coming for a mental health visit and you have a lot of other small children that are more rambunctious, they can't sit quietly on a device or read a book or draw or something, it's difficult to get all that I'm saying. So I do find that other distractions when I need to give you a lot of information, it's going to be like drinking out of a fire hose. So if you can leave the other kids at home for those sensitive visits.
Have I been guilty of bringing my own circus to the doctor? Yes, I get it. You've got other kids, so you bring them along to the doctor. But if the appointment is a sensitive one, we really should plan ahead so that the doctor and staff can focus on you and your child. And you and your child can focus on the doctor without interruptions. That's prescription number 5. Now, everything that we've talked about so far are prescriptions for doctor's visits. But Dr. Spencer says that there are some things we can do at home to improve our kids' health and well-being. Here is his 6th prescription, and it's all about how to handle fevers.
So fever is kind of therapeutic. It's your body doing its thing, fighting infection, and your immune system works better at a slightly higher temperature. So a fever of 101 or 102 is not a big deal. It's more how the child is acting. So if some kids will get a fever of 103, 105, and they're running around having a party, and other kids at 101, they're just acting miserable. So whether you decide to treat that fever with like Tylenol or ibuprofen is more how the kid's acting, not the height of the fever. Seizures with a fever can happen, but it's not how high the fever is. It's like how fast the fever comes on. So the seizure often happens at 101 or 102, not 106 or 107. So it's really treat the child. How are they acting? Are they just miserable? Then give them some medicine, give them some Tylenol or ibuprofen. A fever with a viral infection typically is 3 to 4 days. So if you've got a low-grade fever, they're drinking well, they're responding to Tylenol, they're acting reasonably well, you can watch that fever for 3 to 4 days. Beyond 5 days, we all start to get a little twitchy. We want to see them. So keep that in your mind. 5 days of fever, not okay. Not okay. If the fever's really high and they're really lethargic and they're not responding to Tylenol or ibuprofen, then we want to see them. As far as like young kids in fever, it's different. Like under 2 months of age and under 1 month of age, any fever, like over 100.4, we want to see the baby. But over 2 months of age, follow the fever rules that I just said.
Just to recap here, babies need to be seen for fevers. For children older than 2 months, pay close attention to how they're feeling and how long they've had it. 5 days is not okay. They need to be seen. That's prescription number 6. Prescription number 7 is all about how to prevent those pesky fevers in the first place.
Hand washing is a huge one.
Yeah, we don't really talk about hand washing as much as
wash your hands.
Anything else.
Soap and water or hand sanitizer, either or both. That's a big thing. Learning not to touch your face, bite your fingernails, right? Things like that. You don't have to be, OCD or germaphobe. You just wash your hands regularly.
When I asked my brother what he learned the most in med school, one of the things he said was, I don't touch my face now.
Yeah.
Like, because I just, during the day, because I'm like, you're a doctor, you see sick people all the time. How do you not get sick? He's like, I wash my hands a lot, but I've learned to not touch my face. And I think about that all the time. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's true. Kids aren't going to do that.
Prescription number 7. Have your kids wash their hands. I know, it's not anything new, but it really is a fundamental that we need to repeat. And if they aren't fans of hand washing, up the ante with some fun soaps. I mean, I remember teaching my kids to sing the ABCs while they wash so that they'd actually have a chance of getting rid of typhoid or whatever was hiding on their little hands after school. And if they played in a McDonald's ball pit, you better believe I was having them sing all 7 minutes of the Beatles' Hey Jude at the sink before they got to touch anything. Prescription number 8 is all about advice for another common parent battle, and that's picky eaters. Oh, brother, this is a big one for me.
What are the suggestions for parents of how to make their home a place where like good nutrition flourishes? How about that? Because
You're living in a dream world.
I have 5 kids and 5 very different palates.
Yes, you do. And you're not making 5 different dinners, I'll tell you that right now.
And they all know it. So, I'd love to know what kind of suggestions you have.
The issue of picky eating comes up constantly at visits. So I'm well acquainted with it. I was a super picky eater. I don't think I ate a tomato till I was 20.
Really?
And look at you. I'm super healthy.
Look at you.
Silly
You're
fine.
the epitome of health.
Yes. So that's just to say, don't get too bent out of shape. I usually tell parents, and if any of my parents are listening, they know I say this all the time, about 18 months to age 6 years old, if you're getting a couple good meals a week out of your kid, you're doing great. That's pretty normal.
Wow.
Most days it's just snacking. Toddlers will eat like 1 goldfish and 2 fruit snacks in a day, and you're like, what? But they keep peeing and pooping and growing. Yeah, and then the next day they eat like they've been starved for a year. Like, I made chicken for dinner and they ate it a ton. And then I'm going to serve it for lunch the next day and they won't touch it. So it's hit and miss with toddlers. Most kids are picky. They just kind of eat what they eat when they eat it. So I tell parents, put out a variety of mostly healthy things and let them pick and choose. And that's the meal. And sometimes you're like, oh man, this kid really hasn't eaten anything in days and I'm worried. Then just make their go-to meal. Sure, a bowl of cereal before bed. You've done it. Good job. Good job, Mom. You did it. Your kid's fed. It's okay. It's really okay. I think it's good to model for kids eating things that aren't your favorite, that are good for you. I also think that I encourage parents, even at a young age, I know you're busy. It's easy just to put the kid in the high chair while you're doing other stuff and have them have their mealtime. And they don't eat as well. If you're sitting down together, eating the same things, generally everyone eats better. And you can start that habit as a young kid, like at a year or 15 months, 18 months. We're sitting down together, we're eating the same things. I'm eating off your plate, you're eating off my plate, because usually kids will want it off your plate more than their own plate at that age. So if you're eating the same things and you're all sitting down together and it's more about the conversation, and then mealtime is generally a little better accepted, they're coming for the together time. This is our family time, and it's a fun time, and we're not harping about, you sit there until you eat that vegetable. Don't do that. There's other things to fight about. You don't need to fight about eating food. If they didn't eat it, say, oh man, you didn't eat anything. Is there anything else in the cupboard that you could eat that's healthy right now? You want an apple? That's fine. I'm not going to make another meal for you.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about that.
No mistake.
but if there's something else you can grab quickly, let's do it. I'll sit down and eat with you.
Prescription number 8, make mealtimes family time to help encourage good eating habits. And if your kiddos don't buy into the whole broccoli or Brussels sprout hype, don't panic. Don't threaten. Don't fight. Vegetables aren't going anywhere. Your kid will probably try them eventually. No big deal, even if they wait till they're 20. Focus on connection and healthy options at meals, and the rest will come in time. Doesn't that feel like a great relief? Is it just me? Prescription number 9 is about making your home safe for your kids.
Everyone should have the poison control number on your fridge everywhere. So keep chemicals higher up, out of toddler and up to 4 and 5-year-olds range, right? Guns. If you have guns in the home, I know people like to keep them out so they're available to protect your family, but you got to keep a trigger lock. You got to keep them in safes. It's more likely that your child or a friend finds a gun and has an accident than you have to use it to defend yourself. So keep it locked up. Making sure everyone knows the number 988. As well as 911. 988 is the suicide crisis hotline. It's nationwide, day or night. They also have a texting feature. It's amazing. It's great to know. So for mental health crises going on in your home, where to get help, Fireplaces. So toddlers around, gas fireplaces, the glass gets super hot, burns. Stoves, a pot with the handle, just turn the handle in, when you're cooking your ramen. Those kids will pull it on themselves. Helmets, always wear a helmet. It's great. Helmets are more mainstream now. It's we figured it out. Yes,
we figured it out.
I wear a helmet when I ski now, when I mountain bike, everything. So wear a helmet, It's not worth risking a skull fracture or head injury, even off of hoverboards. What else? Wear your seatbelt.
Seatbelts.
Always, like a habit.
Yeah.
I love cars that scream at you when you don't wear your seatbelt.
I know, my car will not let you.
I'm like, I'm just going down the street.
I'm just pulling out to back up so I can charge my car. And it's like, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bully, the cars that talk to you.
Prescription number 9, make your house a safe zone for your kids, from storing weapons to providing helmets to posting emergency numbers on the fridge. There are so many common injuries and dangers that we can spare our families with just a little care and foresight. And now we come to our 10th and final prescription from Dr. Spencer. And I'll be honest, it was not what I expected from a pediatrician, but it does make perfect sense. Dr. Spencer's last prescription is to play games your kids can lose.
I really do think there's no substitute for family playtime and playing games together and everyone taking a turn losing at Candyland. Good sportsmanship, right?
Yeah.
Being able to play a game and lose and still have fun. That's a lost skill.
I think you're right.
I think that builds resilience. I think it builds in perspective for kids. I think it helps them navigate conflict and disappointment and failure, which we're a very non-failure society right now. That's what we broadcast on social media is the best of the best. Kids don't feel safe to fail at home. So I think building in that in your home, it's safe to fail. It's safe to feel. It's safe to be frustrated when you do lose. That's okay. Just don't take it out on everybody, right? But let's process that emotion,
we
right?
can talk about it. We don't have to pretend it doesn't
And playing
exist.
games and doing games that you don't like, because the rest of the family wants to play this game, man, that teaches a lot about relationships, right? As you get older. I do this because everyone else likes it, even though it's not my favorite game, but I can see everyone else having fun and I'm willing to do that for someone else, right? Whoa, that's what you want in a relationship and a spouse and a partner going forward. So I think games, some people don't like to play games, but find something to do as a family where it potentially intentionally creates some friction, or there's not always everyone wins, or you take turns at that. And I think you just model that as a parent, like, oh, I really did bad at that game.
Right.
Like I'm literally the worst.
Right.
This game makes me feel so dumb.
All of the games that my kids want to play, I'm really bad at. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, yeah, nope.
Yeah,
You're like,
no.
come on, Mom, it'll be fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
will it?
So my wife is also very good at modeling that.
Yeah. I'm always like, okay, everyone wants to play this. All right.
Yeah. And
I'm like, go easy on me.
See, but that's what you do as a mom. That's what helps in a relationship. And that's what builds that trust and empathy. And people realize, oh, this person's going to bat for me no matter what.
Yeah.
They would play this dumb game that I didn't want to play. So I sit down with my kids. I play Legends of Zelda. I'm up for Minecraft.
That's awesome.
Don't know a thing what I'm doing in there.
Okay, that's so funny because literally last night Margaret said, because I was trying to get her to do something. I said, I want to go on this hike. And I know you don't like to hike, but I really I want to, it's so pretty and I want to show you this hike.
I'd love
and
to.
she said, okay, I'll do that if you will play Minecraft with me. And I was like, okay. And so we decided to do it. So yeah.
It goes a long way.
It does go a long way.
Yeah.
And there we have it. 10 prescriptions from a seasoned pediatrician to help your kids in and out of the doctor's office. Number 1, go to your well child checkups. Number 2, write down your questions between visits. Number 3, use your pediatrician as parenting backup. Number 4, stay calm during shot appointments since, well, you're the emotional barometer for your kids. Number 5, don't bring other children to sensitive appointments. Number 6, use the 5-day rule for fevers for kids older than 2 months and use behavior instead of numbers to gauge your concern. Number 7, instill hand-washing habits in your kids. Number 8, don't panic about picky eaters and eat together as a family. Number 9, do a safety sweep of your home and have emergency numbers on the fridge. And finally, 10, play games with your kids to build social skills and emotional resilience. I know this was a lot to take in one go, but I think it's all really great advice. But if you get nothing else from this episode, I hope you understand that your pediatrician can be a star player on your parenting team. And if you don't feel like your current doctor is up to the task, then it's okay to find a new one. Every good parent knows they'll need some backup from time to time. They just might not know that that backup is waiting for you just beyond the fish tank and highlights magazines. Now go treat yourself to a sucker. You deserve it.
The Lisa Show is a production of BYU Radio, hosted by Lisa Valentine Clark. This episode was produced by Erica Price with help from Becca Hurley, Blake Morse, and Kenny Mears, with post-production by Kip Kober. A special thanks to our guest, Dr. Weston Spencer. And be sure to check out the Council of Moms, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. As always, thanks for your messages. We read them all, and thanks for listening.
Embark on a whimsical journey with The Appleseed from the BYU Radio family of podcasts. Immerse yourself in captivating stories expertly woven by talented storytellers. Join Sam Payne and the live studio audience in laughter and delight as we explore a tapestry of tales. Tune into The Appleseed for a family-friendly experience that really sparks imagination and brings stories to life. Your tickets to fun and creativity, The Appleseed. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.